Hello. Welcome to Putting Away the Studio Palette. Complete that they would never normally do, because that's what I do when I'm homesick. So, we are tackling the studio palette today, and it's a mess. Like, it's a mess. It's a mess. I don't think I've actually put it away in this sort of way since sometime in 2023, and because I'm homesick, we're going to do this properly. Like, we're going to make sure pans are labeled properly. We're going to do all that jazz. We're going to make sure everything has magnets. So, let's start this thing. Feel free to ask any questions as we go. We're just going to tidy everything up. Some of these pans are just going to be stained because some of the pigment's just stained plastic. That's fine. That's livable with. But the goal is that it has a magnet. Everything that doesn't have a magnet gets a magnet. Everything that needs to be relabeled gets relabeled. And we're just going to do this for the next little bit because I feel like shit. But it's like not the feel like shit where you can sleep. It's like the feel like shit where you're still productive and getting stuff done. But like, I'm choosing to get this stuff done. All right. New piece of paper towel. Also, YouTube members, you have a new class coming. And there was a membership announcement yesterday over on the community tab, but there's some changes happening to membership. Oh, that doesn't have a magnet. That will get a magnet. There's some changes coming to memberships, so members, you will be getting a new class in the next probably week and a bit is the first session, and then from there we'll see how often they come out. I think it'll probably be every week for the next couple weeks, but we'll just have to see how quickly I can edit them. Because it's been a while since the last master class came out. This is green earth. Once that dries, just actually going to dry it off. Alright, you need a new magnet. Actually, I don't know that you've ever had a magnet. But let's magnetize you. Because all of my travel palettes are magnetic, and so all of my pans get magnetized just for the sake of travel. Makes it easier. feel free to ask any questions as we do this. Kleenexes. You've got your little magnet. Good, good, good. Your labels are still good. There we go. Mostly this is just de-stickifying everything because on occasion pans will overflow and then everything sort of gets sticky and gross. And if I'm doing a proper put away of the palette, which is what I'm doing, I want to make sure everything's going back unsticky. And then I'll also top up things that I've got in tubes. So I actually have a second tray here. And this is the tray for things that I've got in tubes. These are things that aren't in tubes. This over here to the side, I guess I can probably slide it up top, is the tubes tray. So that I can top up anything that is in a tube. That needs topping up. I don't know if this one's going to come any cleaner. Oh. This is a Daniel Smith paint, but I don't actually own this Daniel Smith paint. And when I bought it, it was labeled as being a single pigment color, but I've got my doubts. I do have it in my single pigment swatches, though, because that's what it was sold to me as. But I might have to reach out to Daniel Smith and see if they ever did a single pigment version of this color or the person was just wrong. Because look, PG7 is what's on the pan. And it does stain like a PG7 does. So I don't know. It might be a PG7. I might just be wrong. But let's stick your little magnet on you. This is Pymonite Genuine. And this has had a magnet on it before. It's lost its magnet though, so we're remagnetizing it. I don't know if I've got. Might. Cosmic Creations. Magnet. hate that Schmincke uses a different size of half pan than everyone else. Like, I get that it holds the same volume, or it supposedly holds the same volume, but it's such a different shape than everybody else's half pan, and I sort of hate it. Oh, this definitely needs to be relabeled. And it needs a magnet. The reality is lots of these pans are never going to look perfect. They're stained with ink and paint. But I do want to just make sure that there's no gum arabic on them so they're not as sticky to handle. Because that is incredibly annoying. So I'm going to de-sticky them as much as possible. Alright, magnet time. that to top it up with. This is the Cosmic Creations. And it does have a magnet, and the magnet on it's very dirty. It's got a whole lot of paint around it. Which happens, these paints are used all the time in my studio palette, and so stuff doesn't stay particularly clean, but I also only do these big palette resets every couple years because they take a long time. This will probably be a 4 or 5 day project from beginning to end. And I don't always have time for the palette to be out of commission for that long. But I just finished August's Tiny Trees, and I'm in DC pen show prep. And so I'm not really painting anyways, and so I sort of have time to do this and get it done. Plus, I'm in the middle of filming a new YouTube memberships class, and so paint's already out. For that, so I'm sort of taking advantage of already having all the paints out for the class I'm running, and I'm just going for it and getting this done, finally. I've wanted to do this since about February, but life and work has been busy, so here we are, starting it on a sick day. Schminke Shire Olive that has orange on its pan. Other than that, though, you look good. This, on the other hand, looks like an absolute mess. I think we're going to have to relabel all of this pan. Why do you have green on you? You live with the yellows. I'm so confused. You don't live anywhere near a green. You need a magnet. I really should be both of these have magnets, but I just lost the paint out of one of them. Glorious. Whatever, I'll clean you without a paint in you. And I'll put the paint back in you. Tundra pink. Pink just needs to be re-emphasized. And then it'll get a magnet. The next little stack. Something in here is quite sticky because it is stuck to the tray. Oh yeah. You're what's sticky. Nope, you still got binder on you. That is my issue with these short schminke pans, is I find they're more prone to overflowing because they are short and wide. They seem to tend to overflow more often than other pans in my collection. Which can be quite annoying. This one has binder on its magnet. It is nice how everything looks once everything's all clean. Like, it just looks so much nicer. And tidier. This one stuck too. Oh, yeah, because it's covered in binder on the magnet. That does seem to be today's theme, is magnets. If they've got a magnet, they're covered in binder. Let's let that sit for a second. Well, it sort of melts away. Good morning. I am doing a full reset on the studio palette for the first time in a long time. I think the last time I did one of these was back in 2023. I might have done one in 2024, but like I don't think I did the whole like cleaning all the pans thing in 2024. That needs to be filled. And so today we're prepping stage 1 of a palette reset. So this is going to be a many day sort of thing. It always is, but I am homesick, so I wanted to get at least some of the prep work done as sort of a starting point for this project. Okay. All right, let's relabel this thing. Yes, you do have a magnet. Like, we're very much doing the full palette reset. Like, everything that needs to be relabeled is being relabeled. Everything's being remagnetized if it needs to be remagnetized. In this case, I'm also cleaning up the edge on this black because I know that because there's paint on the edge, it leaks onto surrounding colors when I use it. For the last little bit, it's actually been living in its own tin away from everything. So instead, I'm just going to clean it off. and that way it won't get on the surrounding colors. My email just buzzed. Is it anything important? No, it is not. The answer is it's not important. Sweet. All right. Next up, Windsor Red Deep. I think this is going to get topped up. I had tea somewhere. I seem to have misplaced my tea. Oh. This one just needs a magnet. It's a 3D printed half pan from the brief period of time that our 3D printer worked. Because I haven't had the time to futz around and fix it. Nope, that's clean and it's good to go. This one is not clean and is missing a magnet. Let's start by cleaning it up. And then let's stick a magnet on you, and you'll go away. I'm so excited for the new class coming to memberships in the next couple weeks. I actually think the first lesson will probably be out beginning of next week. But it's such a fun set of classes, and it should be an absolutely fantastic time. And it's something that I've wanted to talk about for a while, and people have asked a couple times. But it doesn't really work as a format for videos on the channel, purely because of the number of videos it takes to do. And so I think it should work really well over on memberships. Is this pan broken? It is. Shit. This pan's cracked. Shit. Alright. So the class I taught live is actually already available on YouTube memberships. And if I don't know if you saw yesterday's announcement, it's now available starting at the 2nd tier because I'm getting rid of ClassPass. ClassPass is just becoming the 2nd tier. How am I going to fix this pan? I think I'm going to fix it with UV resin, which I've done before. So ClassPass is becoming rolled into Supply Fund, and they're now going to be one thing. So you will get all the perks of ClassPass. You will get all the perks of ClassPass now at the Supply Fund tier, and so that'll give you access to the Atlas class that I've already filmed, but any of the new classes as well. And so my goal is to do about 3 to 4 classes a year, and each class, this next one I think has, how many parts does this next class have? It has currently 16 parts in it, and I think Atlas had about the same, so they aren't short, which is why they don't really work well as a main channel video format, but they seem to work well over on memberships as a video format because you get access to the materials and everything that or you get access to the teaching materials, but then like you have to have the supplies yourself. And I'm gonna try and do like a monthly Q&A thing for classes, so that if you do have like questions that need to be answered live, like that can happen. I don't even know what this is supposed to be. I think this is supposed to be Payne's Indigo. The downsides of palettes this big at times. This is binder on the side of it. And paint on the bottom. And I'm also trying to alternate like the styles of classes. So the last one was an ink class, but it was like playing with your ink. By request, this next one is a watercolor class. And we'll see what my fall class is. I'm always open to suggestions. I've got a couple ideas, but we'll see what I end up doing for the fall. The fact that I am still working on this 10 at 40 minutes in is shocking. There's so many paints to go. Oh, this is atrociously sticky. Look at the mark that's left in the tin. It's so sticky. All right, let's just wrap you up and leave you and move on to something else. That's an interesting question. I'm using my normal mics. So I've just plugged the transponder in again. And hopefully that'll fix it. I also just sort of sound like shit because I've got a cold. So that is probably also contributing to the weird sound. I am homesick. So if it's still weird, let me know and I'll switch to, yes, I can switch to mic 2 and see what's up. With the mics. It could also be on the firmware side. I know Hollyland, who's my mic people, have been doing a couple updates, and so it could be the firmware of my mics needs to be updated again. But let me know if it's still weird, and I will endeavor to switch mics. Because I've got the mics I use with my laptop hanging around the studio right now, and they're easy enough to grab. I'd like this to come off, but I think this is phthalo. I don't think that's going anywhere. It's not. This, on the other hand, hopefully is. All right, just let me know. I could also just be talking quieter because I'm sick. There are probably many contributing factors to the weird audio today. It's just, as always, this is a very easy task to procrastinate, and I figured if I was going to do it, I might as well hang out with people while I did it. And so, that is what we are doing. Oh, you're not going to stick. Well. The reality is, I really haven't made a dent in the number of paints that we actually have to do this to. Like, I haven't actually made a dent at all. There are still hundreds of paints. There are 4 of these trays once I finish this little palette. I just wanted to start easy. I wanted to like these paints more than I did. This is a stone ground paint, and while I did like them, they still weren't my favorite handmade paint. Or small batch paint, I guess, is probably close to what they are. Because I don't know that they're actually grinding them by hand still. Oh, you're wrapped around something. If glitter is like the herpes of the pen world, or the art supply world, phthalo blue and Prussian blue are that of the paint world. They stain everything, they get everywhere. Like, it stained the plastic. My hand stands no chance if it's staining plastic. And I own too many versions of it. So I think I'm about to pull up the Daniel Smith version, because this was for a month of tiny trees, and I think I used both. Oh, I found my tea on the floor. And then we've got Daniel Smith Prussian blue, which is also equally as problematic. Like we have already stained a piece of paper towel. Odd. Might have to get in touch with Hollyland about it. That's concerning. These aren't that old of mics. I've only had them for a couple months. And the receiver's sitting all the way in my device, so I am gonna have to get in touch with Hollyland about it and see what they say. I'm still getting Prussian blue on everything. We might just clean this tray this afternoon or this morning. Honestly, I think if I get this done, I've at least made a start. I've started, I've gone somewhere, even if I haven't finished or made a real difference. I've started, and honestly, I'm already exhausted and I need a nap. Oh, look at all the binder. Something tells me that these colors are probably going to need to be relabeled. There's something really satisfying about finally sitting down and tidying everything up again. Like it's been a minute since I've actually sat down and really tidied up this palette. And because of that, it has both like felt like my studio palette, but also like not felt like my studio palette because it's been a mess. And now, like we've only done this much. It's not even in order yet, but it is starting to feel like my studio palette again. Oh, the paper towel and it are the same color. These both have, nope, neither of those have magnets. Are these raised bottom? Nope, they're flat. Here. Magnets will work on them. This is copper blue. Oh, that doesn't have a magnet either. We're just going to make a pile of things that need magnets. Also known as, I don't want to deal with them yet, because I'm going to have to find more magnetic sheets, I think. If anything else in here needs magnets, I'm going to have to find more magnetic sheets. The question now is, how quickly will I lose my voice? I think we're on track to lose it sometime this afternoon. Yeah, we're totally only finishing these. Totally. Does this actually need anything other than to be cleaned? Oh, you're right, the audio is really weird because now I can hear it too. That's so crazy. Okay, I've switched receivers. Wonder if that's made a difference. Maybe that's receiver's dead. No, it hasn't. I have to investigate that. Because these are the mics I've been using to film everything lately, and they've been fine. Like, I just used them yesterday to film something, and I edited it last night, and the audio on it's fine. So I have to think it's a software update thing. 5 colors left. Ooh, that one's rough. That one needs to be relabeled, but other than that, oh, I missed a whole side on that color. All right, there we go. There's the first tin done of a couple hundred colors. There are probably 500 to 600 colors left to go to put away, and that will come over the coming days. hopefully once I feel a bit better. But we did some, and that's the important part. Like, some has happened. So thanks for watching, and I will try and troubleshoot my mics now, because this is going to be really annoying if this set of mics has all of a sudden died, because they're not all that old and they are quite expensive to replace. So I hope you have a great day.